Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Notes from the Sewing Room. My name's Becky. Thank you for joining me today. Apologies, it's been a little while since I recorded my last video. That's just because basically life's been a little bit busy. William, my baby boy, has started nursery, so that's been a big thing. And then also I've gone back to work after my maternity leave as well, so I've just been trying to get back into the swing of things, into a new routine basically. But hopefully I'm back on track now in terms of video filming, etc. And yeah, I'll be hopefully bringing you videos each Monday or Tuesday. I do aim for Mondays if I can, but otherwise it is Tuesdays. So anyway, today's video is all about what I made during August. So I've made a few different things for both myself and also my little boy William. So I've got a few different things to share with you, and I can't wait to get started. Before we get going about my new makes, for those of you who are interested in what I'm wearing today I have on my Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress, and it's made in this beautiful rayon sort of viscosey type fabric that I bought from Minerva a while ago. As you can see, I don't tend to button it all the way up to the top. In fact, I didn't actually add a button all the way to the top there because it's not, you know, how I would wear the dress, so my buttons start a little bit further down. But I love this dress, and I've worn it quite a lot actually since I made it, and I've kind of surprised myself how much I like it. So you never know, maybe I should make another one at some point, but not at the moment, but there we are. So anyway, let's get to it and I'll tell you what I've been making during August. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you is actually a pattern that I've made 2 times before. I absolutely love this pattern. It's a jersey make, and it's by a company called Pattern Scissors Cloth. So if you've watched any of my other videos or you do follow me on Instagram, you may well know what I'm talking about, and that is the Galaxy Tee. So this time I've made it in a viscose fabric, which I think gives the top a bit of a different look to making it in a cotton jersey or perhaps a more medium weight viscose jersey. This is a very light viscose jersey and it's absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. Now this lovely fabric was actually given to me by Minerva, so in exchange for a review on their website. So as you can see, it's got this beautiful flower print on it, which I think has got a real kind of vintage vibe to it, which I really like. And I love the pop of red in there on the white background as well, with the little grey petals, etc. So I think that's really, really pretty. So I made this, I think it was probably the sort of end of July time, but I actually forgot to show it to you in my last video, and that's why I'm including it in my August makes video instead. But I think this is still going to be perfect for going into autumn and maybe even winter, you know, being layered up under a cardigan and that kind of thing. So I really like this top for a number of different reasons. I really like the poofy sleeve detail on there. It's actually gathered around the sleeve head there and also around the cuff. I like that it's finished with a cuff around here rather than you know, having to top stitch it in any way. The neckline is really simple. I actually lowered the neckline on my version by about 4 inches because I found the original pattern to be a little bit high for my liking, but that's just a little change that I made. I like the fit of this pattern. Now I've got it, if you know what I mean, because in the beginning it took me a while of kind of playing around to try and understand how this pattern worked for me. I didn't really like the original fit. So I decided with the Galaxy Tee to basically bring in the side seams a little bit on the first couple of versions that I made. But by the 3rd version, I've decided that actually I just needed to make the smallest size. So the sizing is available for this top in size 88 centimetre bust through to 122 centimetre bust. So I decided just to make the smallest size, and that was fine for me. Like I say, I just brought it in on the side seams when I made, I think I started off by making the 88 centimetres at the top, and then I graded out slightly to go towards the hip area, but because of the amount of ease that was involved in the top, I didn't really need to do that at all. But obviously it's personal preference and the type of fit that you actually like. I think that this top looks completely different in different types of fabric. So as I said, I've made 3 versions now, including this one, and this one's got a much more of a softer kind of drapey look to it, and I really like this fabric that was given to me. But the other 2 versions that I made made, one was in a cotton jersey fabric, which is much more stable, so the sleeves are much more poofy, and the other version was a heavier weight viscose jersey, which also works really well. But out of the three, I would say that this one is probably my favourite version, just because of the print of the fabric and the kind of general kind of drapiness of it. I think it works really nicely. I think probably off the top of my head in the pattern instructions, I think it does suggest using a slightly heavier weight jersey, perhaps like a cotton jersey, something like that. But again, it's entirely up to you what kind of jersey you prefer to use. But I do think it works really nicely in a viscose if you don't want the sleeves to be, you know, too big, I suppose. These ones are much more drapey and hang a little bit or sit a little bit flatter so that you can easily wear a cardigan over it, etc. So that was the first thing that I wanted to share with you, and something that I've already been wearing a lot, and I'm sure I'm going to wear lots more over the next few months. I will put in the details for each of these different patterns that I'm mentioning in the description box below if I possibly can, and any of the fabrics that are available as well that I can still find. I do tend to do that on most of my videos, so if that's something that interests you, then you can generally find all of the info below if you want to. Now, the next thing that I wanted to share with you is a little hat that I made for William, and this was actually using some scrap jersey fabric that I had left over, and I used a Brindille and Twig pattern for this, and it's a beanie hat pattern. Now, I'm pretty sure that I got this for free, and I'm not 100% because I did buy it probably more than a year ago now. I've had a look on the Brindille and Twig website, and I just can't find this pattern either paid for or not at the minute. So I don't know if I'm just missing it, but I thought I'd share this pattern with you anyway, because I'd already got it printed out and I've gone ahead and made this little hat. So here it is. So I will put in some pictures of everything that I'm showing you today, hopefully as well. So this is a little hat that I've made for William. So it's just a little basic beanie hat. It's got a centre seam just running down the centre there. It's a bit like a dart that runs down the centre of the head, and then it's got these two little ears just at the top there. Because I can't find this actual pattern, I will try and put in some other suggestions below if you are interested in making something similar. But yeah, I just couldn't find this one when I was looking for it. But I really like this pattern. It's really cute, comes together really quickly, and I just love the little ear details. Because William started nursery and because the weather's going to be, I'm guessing, getting a little bit cooler soon, I just thought we're going to need some little hats. A lot of things get tossed out of the pram, so I think we probably need a few different hats to be going on with in case we lose any. We actually lost our summer hat at the weekend, which was a bit of a nuisance. I'm going to have to either pick up another one of those or make a little sun hat for him, although I can't imagine that the sun's going to be here for too much longer, but there we are. But yeah, I really like this little hat, so just a little quick make if you have got any children of your own or any friends' children, anything like that. A little beanie hat is really good and super useful as well. Now, the nice thing about making these out of a cotton jersey like this one is that it's not too thick and not too heavyweight, because I know personally if I wear a hat that's made out of wool, I sometimes think that it can be a little bit itchy, a little bit scratchy depending on the quality of the wool, and also it can be a little bit hot to wear. But actually making something out of a little cotton jersey like this is just that kind of in-betweeny type of fabric, so you could wear it in autumn when it's not too freezing and still feel like it's okay. So yeah, just thought I'd share that one with you. Just a little quick make that I enjoyed doing, and yeah, I recommend making any beanie hats if you have got any little bits of scrap fabric kicking around at home. The next thing that I wanted to share with you is a little jumper that I've also made for William, and this is a dinosaur jumper that is by a company called Ministry of Patterns. So Ministry of Patterns were kind enough to give me this pattern to try for free in exchange for a review, and I'll be putting the review up on my Instagram at some point soon. But it's a lovely little pattern, and they were so kind because they actually downsized the pattern for me, because originally this pattern was available in larger sizes, but I just thought it was really cute, really sweet, and I just thought I wanted to give it a go for William. Now William is actually going to be one this next week, so I needed the pattern to be much smaller than it was originally available in. So that was really, really kind of them, and they did downsize it. So now this pattern is available in sizes 76 centimetres through to 158 centimetres, and that's actually based on height. So I decided to go for the 86 centimetres version, and it's probably slightly on the big side for William, if I'm honest, but he's got a little bit of growing room in there, so I always think that's really good. So here is the jumper. So I think it's super cute. I made this pattern mostly on my overlocker, although I did use my sewing machine just to tack in the scale section just down the arms. So as you can see, this is quite a basic pattern. So it's got a neckband on there. It's got obviously the arm sections. The arms actually come in two pieces for each side, because basically you have to put the scales down the centre of the arm, and then it's finished with a little cuff around the arm, and then it's also got the hemband on there as well. So altogether, there's not too many pattern pieces, but this is a little bit different from other jumpers that I've made for William before, or for myself, come to that, because of the scales that go down the arms. So this is basically two pieces of fabric that's joined together, and then you basically put it in between the pattern pieces for the arm and kind of just join it in right sides together, and then finish it off. So that is probably the most complicated part of making this little jumper, if I'm honest. It's just trying to get those scales to lie as flat as possible in that seam, but I don't think I did a bad job considering this is my first version, and William looks super cute in it, so I will put a few pictures of him actually wearing the jumper in so you can see. But yeah, so that's the scale section down the arms, and I think this is nice from a number of points of view. I like the colours of the fabrics that I use. So I use two different jersey fabrics. Now the main part of the fabric, this kind of burgundy jersey, I bought that from Fabricate Murfield. I bought that a while ago. I bought 1 metre of that fabric, so I used it for this jumper and also the little hat that I just showed you before. And then the scales are actually left over from a t-shirt that I made before for my husband. So I got that little bit of scrap fabric left over, and I just thought that the mustard and also the burgundy fabric worked really well together. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm pleased with the way that it came together. I think it's nice also because William really likes dinosaurs, and it's nice from a kind of sensory point of view as well, because he can touch and kind of feel the scales on the arms as well if he wants to, you know, when he's playing. Yeah, I just think it's really, really cute, and William seems to really like it as well. So as I said, it's slightly big for him at the minute, but I'm sure he's going to grow into it. So it's not too big that he can't wear it for sure. So I think this is going to be nice for autumn. I think the colours that I've used are quite autumnal anyway, and because this is quite a medium weight cotton jersey, it's going to be perfect for the months ahead. I will put in the pattern details for that one below as well if you are interested. You can find Ministry of Patterns over on Etsy and also on Instagram. The next things that I wanted to show you are some things that I made for Sew Over It. So Sew Over It were really kind, and they got in touch with me and said, would I be interested in taking part in their lunchtime sew session, which happens over on Instagram. And of course, I absolutely jumped at the chance because I love Sew Over It patterns, and I've made lots of them just because I really like them, and I was just really, really pleased that they asked me to get involved in the lunchtime sews on Instagram. So if you did miss that, you can check it out over on the Instagram TV channel that's run by Sew Over It if you are interested, and I think they've also linked it from their regular Instagram feed as well if you would like to check it out. So I made, just reaching down here, I made the Sew Over It Toiletries bag. So this is available as a PDF pattern, and I've made two different versions actually, mainly because I wanted to make a test version for myself, just so that I knew how to put the pattern together before I recorded my video. Although it is very simple, very, very straightforward, so I probably didn't need to do that, but just for my own peace of mind, I wanted to give it a go. So for the first version, I used some scrap fabric. So the pattern actually says that you need 1/2 metre of fabric. You probably need slightly less, if I'm honest, than that. It just depends on how wide your fabric is, etc. You can make this pattern with or without a lining, so that's entirely up to you, but the pattern's got some really nice features to it. So one of the reasons I like this toiletry bag, so this is the first version that I made. This is a much softer version. I made this one out of a cotton poplin that I'd got left over from a top project that I did previously, and it's got a nice zip opening. I used a So Hayley Jane fat quarter for the inside of this version, but it's got a nice square bottom detail to it. So I think for a toiletries bag, that's perfect, because you know, if you make a straightforward square one or a rectangular one that's not got that square bottom, then sometimes you just kind of end up running out of space or something. So actually having that extra room at the bottom of the bag I think is super useful. So that's the first version that I made. It's actually a really decent size for a toiletry bag as well, and to be honest, you don't have to use it as a toiletry bag. You could use it for absolutely anything. You could use it for putting your lunch in there, probably, if it didn't need to keep cool. You could use it as just a pouch to take things out and about in. So I don't know, use it for lots of things, I'm sure, not just toiletries. But that's the first version that I made. Even though this is my test version, I do like this one because I think it works fine in a cotton poplin, but it probably works much better in a slightly heavier weight fabric. So the next version that I made was this one here. It's a little bit creased because I have actually used it. So this is the next version that I made. So as you can see, it's got the zipper just at the top there. This is actually made out of a Lisa Comfort fabric. It's a Lisa Comfort home fabric that I was given to actually have a go at making this on the Sew Over It channel. So this is a heavier weight, I think it's called a cotton drill or something like that, but I will put the details below. I was sent 1/2 metre of this, but I didn't need to use 1/2 metre for the project. And then I've also got this, just a plain cotton poplin on the inside there, which has got this gingham design. So that's really nice. So the lining doesn't actually have the square bottom detail. That's just a kind of a rectangle that you just end up slotting into the bag. But as I said, I like that it's got that square bit on the bottom there. The pattern instructions are so easy, so straightforward. Just hold your hand through the whole thing. So if you are new to sewing, or to be honest, if you just fancy a little quick make, then this is a really good one to go for. There's literally one pattern piece. So you cut out the rectangle for the front and for the back, and then the instructions just talk you through the rest of it basically. So it couldn't be any more straightforward. I think this pattern's also included in one of the new Sew Over It ebooks that's just come out. I think it might be the first beginner's guide to sewing one or something. I'm pretty sure I had an email about that the other day. But if not, you can just buy the Toiletries Bag PDF from the Sew Over It website if you want to. But I think this is going to make perfect Christmas gifts or birthday gifts or something like that. So yeah, I'm planning on making a few of these for Christmas time for sure, for friends and family. So again, this came together really quickly. I would say probably the most fiddliest parts of it are probably just putting in the zip, doing that little square design at the bottom, but it's not really fiddly, you just have to read the instructions carefully. And then I hand tacked in just the top along where the zip lies, of the lining as well, but you could probably put that in with the machine. In fact, I did put it in with the machine on this version, mainly because I'm lazy. But on this version, I did follow the instructions, and I hand tacked it in just around that top area. But to be honest, it works well either way. So, but yeah, so that's the next thing that I wanted to show you, and something that I'm really pleased with, and as I say, I'm going to definitely make more of. So the final thing that I wanted to share with you today is actually, again, made some scrap fabric, which was left over from this project. So this is a book bag. So I love a book bag. I know some people might call it a tote bag, or I don't know, there's lots of different names for these type of bags, but I absolutely love these kind of little shopper bags. Yeah, it's just great. It's got some simple kind of cotton drill type handles on there, and then I've used the remainder of the gingham that I had, the cotton poplin on the inside, and then I used the remainder of this kind of cotton drill fabric on the outside. I've literally cut 2 rectangular pieces of fabric for the front of the bag, the back of the bag, and obviously the lining all together. And then I bought the handles from a craft shop locally to me, and then I've literally joined them together using a little zigzag stitch all the way around the top of the seam, of the top of the bag, should I say. So I'm really pleased with that, and I've been using this a little bit already. As I said, I've just gone back to work from my maternity leave, so I did actually take this bag into the office with me on my first day back, so that's really nice. So it just works really nicely just to carry, you know, just bits and bobs in there, lunch, a drink, you know, my travel cup, anything like that. So my notebook, anything. So yeah, really pleased with that, and I'm sure it'll come in a lot for lots of different reasons, to be honest. But again, these also make great gifts. I think that because they're useful, because they're easy to make, and because if you have to post it anywhere, of course, you can fold them down really easily, and they go through the letterbox, which is really nice. So yeah, lots of reasons to make them for gifts for friends and family if you're looking for an idea there. But that's all the things that I've got to share with you for what I made in August. So as you can tell from this video, I made just that one top for myself, the toiletry bags, the book bag, and then the couple of bits and bobs for William as well. So in September, I've been busy making a few things for myself. So my September Makes video will of course be coming up in a couple of weeks' time, so keep an eye on my channel for that. Other videos that I've got in the pipeline as well, I'm hoping to share with you my belated spring summer capsule wardrobe that I've sewn up, so I'm looking forward to sharing all those projects with you as well. And yeah, I've got lots of different ideas coming up, so do keep an eye on my channel. I do try and put a video out every Monday if I possibly can, but if not, it's Tuesday. It's just sort of family life depending really, but I do try and get them out there as quick as I can. Now, if you have enjoyed watching today's video, I would love it if you could hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. It does really mean a lot to me. I enjoy making the videos, so I want you to enjoy watching them as well. But feel free to leave me any comments below if you'd like to. I do love chatting to you in the comments below, so that's always great when you get in touch. But until next time, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.